My name is Av Udukuri. I'm an engineer and work in tech, live in South Mississauga. I've been involved in technology for a long time through my companies. The main reason I went into solar and I went down this path is for energy and cost efficiency. So I had some old gas-powered cars for a long time thinking they were cheap. And when I started doing the numbers about gas and maintenance and every air filter, I realized actually EV cars are a really great investment. And when I went down the rabbit hole of how best to charge it and how best to optimize my energy utilization, I started realizing solar with battery backup and ultra low overnight, and it started making a lot of sense. So my whole thing was, as I get into retirement, I wanted my cost of living to go as low as possible. I want my burn on a monthly basis to be really low. And I realized that getting that energy down. So I had a goal. I was wondering if I can run 2 cars and my entire home on less than $150 a month. That was my goal. So I'm still optimizing, but with ultra low overnight, with the battery backup, and then also from an asset point of view, with all the Canada Home Greener Homes loans together with the grants, yeah, the return on investment is pretty significant. I was doing research. I was on Reddit, I was on forums, I was everywhere. And I found all sorts of big company names. And I started calling around to solar companies and not one person picked up the phone. And some of them had such complicated forms and then, you submit it, nobody got back to me. And I believe I spoke to Rosen. I called up and he was there. He picked up the phone. And as a technical engineer, I had a lot of questions. And he started answering all of them immediately. And then I waited around to see if I can actually get some better quotes or some competitive. And the process with some of the other companies was so painful. I actually said, you know what, it's not worth it. I went back to Rosen and it was awesome. The planning, I did get a lot of help from the company. And I'll give you one good example. My home was set up for only 100 amps. And my ultimate goal was charge 2 EVs at night. So I needed to go to 200. That's outside of scope, but they actually went above and beyond to help me upgrade my panel to 200 amps, get the distribution hooked up, work with Electra to connect that. There's a lot of little things that they were like, we're gonna do this anyway, so this is not gonna cost you that much. And that turned out to be really big, because if I did some of these things on my own, or I went through third parties and additional people as contractors, it would have been a real big headache. So some of the challenges were during November, December, Electra wasn't getting back to us about the new load approval. They weren't approving some of the plans. Then we also had problems where it was a really cold winter, so they were waiting for the right time to put the solar in. And they actually changed their whole project around to make it fit. They pushed Electra to go get that done. But more importantly, they were also like, look, we can just come in and do the panel install first. That way you can move on with the construction, then we'll come in with a better day. So they adjusted their schedules to meet my needs, which was really, I was really grateful for, or else it would have become a real pain for me. The other thing was we were also doing a major renovation in our main floor. So I had to time the solar to get done before the main floor charge came in, because they needed the breakers and the boxes and all that set up. I didn't want the new contractors to come in. So they worked with me really well to coordinate timing during the winter months in order to go make all that happen correctly. Yes, I found the process with Solar Power Canada to be really straightforward, because it is actually quite complex. Between the rebates, the green home grants and the loans, together with getting all the Electra approvals, upgrading the load from 100 amps to 200 amps in my home, there's a lot of details involved, and I'm glad that they took it all on. Because I've heard horror stories on Reddit of other companies, and I feel like I dodged a bullet by going with this company for sure. Absolutely. I highly recommend Solar Power, because they actually took care of a lot of the complexities, and they also have multiple options. You can do DIY, but just buy the hardware. You can actually do the whole thing through them. They can plan the whole thing out. And given some of the complexities I went through, they handle everything. So I highly recommend.